our lawn chairs do some pretty fascinating things. Of course they fly through the air, but they can also get stacked, because they're stacking lawn chairs. And speaking of stacking, that's the game we're throwing our chairs at this week. This is a game by Double Fine. It's a puzzle stealth type thing.
Adventure game, maybe?
Yeah, computer type game for your Linux Motron. It's you could have picked it up while there was that humble Double Fine bundle. It's on sale. It's on sale on Steam, and it's from stackingvideogame.com.
So
using the Buddha engine.
Well, what they're saying is explore a vintage world inhabited by
Matrushka dolls, not Russian stacking dolls. They have a name, goddammit.
The imaginative third-person puzzle adventure. That's exactly what Master Sveng just said. Listen to him next time when he talks. At the end of the day,
the man sometimes knows what he's talking about.
You little baby doll that can steal the souls of other people. So
that's pretty heavy metal. But you know what else is heavy metal? Our chair explanation.
Oh, fine. Really?
Yes, really. So we rate everything on a 4-chair metric based on 4 categories. The metric is 1 chair means it's complete garbage. 2 chairs means that it's passable. 3 chairs means that it's good. And 4 chairs means that it's orgasmic.
Now, what are we going to do with that chair explanation if there's no categories?
Well, I was going to get to that. Bringing up the categories now. We rate everything on our categories of doom, which are mixed with the working, which is does it work? Shiny and sounds, which is how does it look, how does it sound? Controls, how does it control? Obviously, if you can't piece that together, then please stop watching the show and hit yourself in the head with a hammer several times until you die. And finally, our one subjective category, fun. Now, the important thing to keep in mind about our crazy review system is that we are 3 very different people with 3 very different tastes, running 3 very different operating systems. Well, really 2 very different operating systems, and 3 varying bits of hardware setups and whatnot. With Ven using Ubuntu 12.04 32-bit, I'm using Fedora 18. Pedro's using Corora 19, which is a Fedora Spilin remix type
Summer
thing.
Glow edition, yes.
Summer Glow edition. Because you know, in 2 weeks, Corora project's gonna die. Pedro is like the Black Plague on these things. But anyways, then did it make with the working?
Makes with the working, that's something that we've come to expect, nay, demand.
And
From a Steam game, especially from the Double Fine folks at Double Fine, it works out of the box. I didn't have any problems with it, and that is the Ubuntu 12.04 32-bit LTS running on mid-ranged NVIDIA graphics platform, so I'm gonna
Take a shot.
4 chairs. Now, you got a bit of a dual setup. It's almost Double Fine, isn't it?
Yes, it is Double Fine and dandy. Actually, I got a triple setup. I can also test games on Intel integrated video cards as well.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a AMD-based Steam box, and I have an NVIDIA-based regular gaming PC. And on both of them, it worked right out of the box. So, I'm going to have to give that 4 chairs as per our metric. Pedro.
well, I'm the one stuck in
man
the
with
calculator. And every now and again, I like to throw a wrench in this well-oiled machine, but it's a Double Fine game, and these guys, they know what they're doing, so 4 chairs from me. No problem.
Well, that was a big, long, complicated explanation. Very in-depth, very detail-oriented. We're going to have to do some really, really, really hard mathematics to come up with an average for 4 chairs from 3 people. I don't know. My guess is 7.
I subtracted 7. It didn't work. We came up with this. It's 4 chairs. So, touche, Double Fine.
Touche, Double Fine.
But we're going to get
for
you
our Double Fine categories of shiny and sounds.
Shiny and sounds, and this is, yeah, we're not going to give you 4 chairs all the way. There's no way. It's impossible. These lawn chairs do not roll that way. Giggity. So, Shiny and Sounds, what we're dealing with is this. You are a little baby doll that gets to inhabit the souls and control other people. I like this. This really got my attention. At first I neglected it, and this is why it's taken just a bit to get around to reviewing this game. Capture and stack. It looks fantastic, but it does suffer from something that I call the Double Fine Herky Jerk, which is also in Brutal Legend. Now, this is everything turned to 11 at 1080p. Nothing higher than that. Just standard 1080. Little bit of the herky jerk. The random grunts, they get old after a bit of, well, with the quickness, to be honest with you. But I loathe filthy stink, human contact. But just a voice, just one little voice every now and then would have been nice. It is what it is, but I can't give it the 4 chairs, so I have to subtract, and basic maths says 3. J-Man.
Well, I gotta agree with Ben pretty much on everything he said. That more or less mirrors my opinion. The game itself has a very interesting concept, and the world is represented very uniquely as you possess these Matryoshka dolls. You violently go inside them and take control of their bodies.
Cheers.
Anyways, I too ran into the Double Fine Herky Jerk on my AMD box and on the NVIDIA box.
Really?
So, yeah.
Now, when we say herky jerk, it's not unplayable at all. It's just random, like...
It's random stuttering.
When I say random stutter, it's... Why are you freezing at this point? We just loaded the level and all this beautiful stuff over here, then I get next to, I don't know, a wall, and it's like...
That's probably caused by vertical sync, no?
Nope, we don't use VSync at L.G.C.
No, sir.
Give it a chance.
Anyways, since the graphical stuttering is an imperfection, I can't give it the 4 chairs, even though it's a very cool-looking game with a very cool-looking art direction. The sounds, to be perfectly honest, I was listening to other music while I was playing this, so I didn't pay too much attention to the sounds.
It's all Rick James, the entire soundtrack.
Sweet.
I'm Rick
She's
James,
alright. She's alright. Anyways, I'll give that 3 cheers.
3 chairs, you say?
3 chairs.
Make it so. The
Make
force
it so.
is apparently strong with you.
And I'm the one with the calculator, and I didn't suffer from the herky jerks, which is why VSync popped into my mind. It might have been that NVIDIA
what do you expect
issue
running it at
VSync.
640 by 480?
Yeah.
No, I was playing in 768p.
The hell's that? Some moon resolution?
It's the
you could just say
default
1366 by 768.
nowadays. Yeah.
But instead you had to go
1366 by
pull out the
768.
P's.
Yeah.
Because
Well, he is the P-man.
He is, well, you know what? That is true. He is the P-man.
Yeah.
So, P-man, what do you got to say about the shininess and the sound stacking?
I didn't suffer from the herky jerks, but I did notice that the
shake it,
background
baby.
music and the grunting, it gets teeny tiny bit repetitious. And so it does not get the 4th chair, but it gets a very deserved 3 chairs.
Ooh.
Well, then,
Because
again,
it's a very
some
good looking game.
very
at that.
complex linear algebra, some math proofs we got to solve to tally this guy up. I'm going to say 12 dozen chairs.
3, 3, and 3. You know, I voted Tuesday, but it seems like it gets 3 chairs instead of Tuesday.
That's a goddamn shock. If I were a betting man, I would have lost a lot of money on that.
That's low-hanging fruit. So,
Yes.
up next, we do have the control section, right?
No, we don't.
We don't.
We
It's
don't.
because you've lost control of this, and I am taking in the reins. But we are talking about control for this. Now, does it work? Well, with the movement, kind of. This is a type of game that you don't really want to sit in front of. Now, I understand games like, first-person shooter, Strike Suit 0 beta closed, whatever, that I'm playing. That's something you want to be in front, with the big monitor in your face, pussy, hammering it out. Brilliant. This is not an FPS. This is something you might want to chill out and just play casually. But guess what?
What then?
It doesn't work with my Logitech gamepad.
What? I can't hear you. You need to talk louder.
Why are we whispering?
Shut up, Pedro.
Brilliant. So, that didn't work. Gamepad support couldn't get that working at all, so I was forced to sit here and play it with a wireless gerbil and the keyboard. Found that incredibly disappointing. And with the control, every time there's a cutscene, and we're going to get to those, every single time on this box, tits up. Camera went tits up. Oh, look, sky. I knew that was coming. Got to the point. I was like, cutscene's over. All right, let's recalibrate. So the best I can give this critter on the controls is 2 chairs, J-Man?
I did not have any issues with wireless keyboard or mouse, or wired keyboard and mouse for that matter. I will concede that the control scheme was a bit weird using Q and E as your 2 main action buttons. But you get used to it after a while. I still don't think that was probably the best choice, but what the hell do I know? I'm just some guy who is on a Linux gaming podcast. But I had no issues with the control scheme.
Did you try it with the controller?
But like I said, the weirdness kind of is a bit off-putting, so I'll give it 3 chairs for control.
3 chairs for control.
Okay, now to tell you the truth, I didn't try with my PS2 DualShock because it worked with a keyboard, and I could change the settings to adjust to my left-handedness, and it works stupidly well. And even on those few timed puzzles that I ran into, the controls were responsive, and I didn't have Ven's issue with the camera pointing up. So, 4 chairs for me.
Now, this one actually does require some tough addition, subtraction, averaging, division stuff.
You've already broke my brain.
Yeah, 3 chairs.
3 chairs.
Average it out.
Behold this
And
mathematical
finally,
genius.
the last, but not least, subjective
Leviathan.
category.
Jordan's thing. So this is fun.
Yeah.
Get the fun.
Wait, oh no,
Fun.
that's the thing we're supposed to do. All right, that was not fun, but we're going to talk about the fun.
Yes, talk about the fun, Ben.
No, go ahead. There's a cutscene.
Oh, yeah.
No, the fun is,
unskippable
cutscene. Here we go.
Cutscene.
Yep.
Cutscene.
And
Cutscene.
I want to
Cutscene.
play the
Cutscene.
fuck mothering
Cutscene.
game.
Cut.
Please.
Scene.
God.
Cut.
Damn it.
Scene.
Guess what?
And scene. And scene.
Did we mention cutscenes? Because I think we should.
I think you should reiterate that. What is it about this game that you didn't like, Ben?
Pedro?
Yes.
Shut up.
Damn it.
See how easy that is?
I know, it's great. Anyways, continue, Ben.
This is like flipping a switch. No, I did mention this definitely in the show notes, and that's what I'm looking at. And that's really what it boiled down to me. Was I went back and I was like, is this meant for like 3-year-olds or Tom Duchesne? Because
Probably Tom Duchesne.
fair point. So many and all that. And every time you get to move for 5 minutes, it's like, here's a 3-minute cutscene. And I was like, that's great. 2 minutes. Here's another 5-minute cutscene. I was like, this gets old as piss really quick. You realize that you've spent 2 hours playing the game. And by playing, I mean you've probably spent a total of 15 minutes controlling it, as opposed to watching things. And it doesn't get better the longer you play. Like, man, we got a lot of pre-rendered stuff. And guess what? Haha, you're captive. You bought it, didn't you? Here it comes. So, yeah. Cutscenes. That killed it for me. It just irritated me to two chairs.
I, too, was perplexed by the obscene number of cutscenes that were completely unskippable. So I was sitting there with my thumb up my ass, waiting for this dialogue that I really didn't care about to finish, so that I could actually play the game. And when I finally got to the game, I discovered a very cool concept that I liked, and it reminds me very much of a social engineering type game, but it fails to capture my interest.
You mean stealing souls? Yes.
Yeah, it is no FTL in soul stealing scale, but I like the idea of this game more than I like the game itself.
Like every doll has its own individual soul that you can reap.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. Is that you have to use this Matryoshka doll mechanic to get around and solve puzzles. That's cool to me, but I just found myself bored by it. I don't, like I said, I like the idea of this game more than I ultimately like the game itself. But it does have things that are worthwhile, and I do suggest that if you like puzzle games or if you're a fan of Double Fine, check it out. They've been supporting Linux for a fairly long time comparatively for a big name developer. Yep. So, but for now, I'm gonna give stacking 2 chairs in the fun category the double deuce. P-Man.
Well, I'll concede the fact that the game does have a lot of cutscenes. I mean, in the first half hour of game, you get like 3 2-minute long cutscenes, and you're like, I want to play. Come on!
Jordan, is this another cutscene?
I think
Kinda,
so. I'm
Yeah.
not. I'm
playing the
pressing
game.
start.
Let
but I
us
can't
out.
skip it.
For the love of Satan.
But it is one of the best looking games in Linux right now, at least until Crisis comes
Better
along.
calculator or
And
wrong.
I love the fact that it lets you solve a puzzle in a number of different ways. And unfortunately, allowing you to do that also tickles that side of me that wants to get the achievements. And I don't like that side of me. I really don't.
That's called your penis, Pedro. That's
Yeah, no.
Well, that's the thing. Nori keeps his balls under a little nice ornate box under her bed. So this is how Pedro feels like a man.
It's
by
that
increasing
need
his
to get
EP.
100% and everything. I don't like that about me. I try my best not to be that OCD about games.
Which
In
really
this
weirded
game-
me out when you joined the clan.
It kind of
100%.
tickles. Yeah. And it has a hold my hand mode. If you press the spacebar, it shows you the way you have to go in order to get to a certain puzzle or to a certain solution to a given puzzle.
Now, Pedro, I want to pick your brain about this, in all seriousness. About the magical, don't even fucking bother playing the game, just hit space button. Is that, did we make a game that was so complicated that you needed that?
Like I said, it's for those people that want to have 100% in everything. If you're stuck and you can't find the last piece of the last puzzle just to get all the achievements, you can push the spacebar and there it is. So yeah, I don't think it is a bad thing. I don't think that they're pretentious enough to assume they've made a difficult game. I hope.
No, I do like it in the aspect that is like, what the fuck am I supposed to be doing right now?
It is a pretty open-ended game. That is pretty neat.
Yeah, until you genuinely start screwing with the multiple ways to solve the. We'll get it. Pedro, finish.
Finish it up, Pedro.
There was actually a bug in the first humble version that caused the game to crash if you solved a certain puzzle a certain way, but they fixed that now. So, yeah, for me, it gets 3 chairs in the fun department because, again, the cutscenes, they get in the middle of everything.
So let's skip past this and go to our final tally for fun, and then our final tally and parting words for stacking by Double Fine. So for the fun category, he gets a big fat 2 chairs.
Double deuce.
And finally, we got 4 chairs plus 3 chairs plus 2 chairs plus another 3 chairs. Divided by 4 brings us down to 3 full chairs. Now, Ven, do you have any parting words regarding stacking?
Well, I got a chair explanation for your face organ. And 3 chairs. That we're not saying this just because Double Fine follows us on G+. We're not saying this. Trust me, I really hate this game. And
it just does very well on all the other non-subjective categories.
Right.
Yeah.
Technically, it's a fantastic game. Until we get to that fun part, then kind of a bit sideways on that. But, yeah, it's a thing. You know, a total of 2 of that, but a final score of 3, definitely. What do you think, J-Man, P-Man? Check it out. Is it worth 15 quid?
I would wait till it goes on sale. If you really want to try it out and this really seems like your cup of tea, then $15 isn't a lot of money. But I would wait till maybe it drops to $5 before I'd throw money at it.
Yeah, it really depends on how you feel about puzzle games and Double Fine games in general. If you like the Psychonauts and maybe, you know, the metal band, the metal RTS, that
soul-stealing dolls from your nightmares. Yes, those things.
Yeah.
So
if you enjoy that, definitely worth the $15. If not, like Jordan said, there's plenty of Steam sales going around all the time. Wait it out.